In this video, two guys row a boat, some water flows over rocks, and some flowers. Oh boy, do we have a lot to go over. This is a vacation to the Bridgeview Bed and Breakfast in Marysville, Pennsylvania. This place was packed with trains. For example, when we were driving up, there was this nice race going on between a manifest and a coal train. When we reached the B&B, the manifest was still going by, and right off the bat, I'm going to give you guys a map of this place because the track layout can be a little confusing. In the top left, the Pittsburgh Line goes north on the left side of the river, and then as you go south, it crosses the Rockville Bridge and then turns down to the bottom right. In the top right, there's the Buffalo Line, which goes up to Buffalo, and in the bottom left, there are the Enola Yard leads that lead down into Enola Yard. The first train I saw on the bridge was this intermodal, the first of many that we'd see on this vacation. Just after that intermodal cleared, we saw this manifest going into Enola Yard. A little while later, the DPUs came by. If you noticed, on the lead engine, the engineer was walking out on the front catwalk. Next up was this manifest that crossed the bridge. At the very end of the train was a flat car with 6 sets of wheels. This is a heavy-duty flat car, which is basically a normal flat car, but on crack. It was so many wheels because it's meant to carry super heavy loads such as construction equipment, military equipment, other trains, or really large transformers. The engineer of this intermodal was really nice and blew the horn for us out on the deck, or there was something in his way that he needed to blow for. Nah, he was probably blowing for us. After the train with the Union Pacific engine cleared, this train with the Canadian National engine came by. While the train with the CN engine kept going by, a local met it up on the bridge. I believe this went up the Buffalo Line, which meant I had to wait for the liquids train. After a high rail took over the left side of the bridge for a little while, this intermodal squeezed past it and went down into the Harrisburg fuel pad. I still don't know if the engineer was honking for the maintenance crew or us, but I think it was probably because of us. Then me and 2 other rail fans drove over to the other side of the bridge because that's where the light was at the time. We first got this shot of an intermodal going past some canoes that were hanging out by the beach. Then another liquids train came by as 2 men went out fishing in their rowboat. The first day was full of banger lash ups like the Union Pacific engine, the CN engine, and this one with a traffic cone. After the coal train went by, I captured this amazing shot. This has to be one of my favorite train videos I've ever took. The way I got the water in the shot was I was standing on 2 rocks while leaning way over as if I were crawling. I put my left hand on another rock and my right held my phone upside down so that the camera would be lowered to see the water easier. I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys enjoy this clip. This was an absolutely insane stroke of luck. We just happened to be on the right side of the bridge, technically the left side, but whatever, and the intermodal train showed up right as the manifest was entering the bridge, leading to this awesome race. The fact that the shot incorporates the stream along with the meat makes this one of my best catches ever. If you guys want another angle of this race, then the YouTube channel Commonwealth Rail was also on the scene with me, and he has a really cool drone shot from above this race. He has a way bigger following than me, so you should really go check him out. He makes really high quality videos about rail fanning content just like me. If by some miracle you're watching this, Commonwealth Rail, don't worry, I won't dox you. It was really nice to meet you and I had a really fun time. After a bit of a lull, this liquids train came over at golden hour. That's the name given to the time of day where the sun is at just the right height to illuminate the underside of the arches. The effect it gives off is absolutely stunning. It makes for really good shots at dusk. After golden hour had passed, this international intermodal came around at sunset. The sky in this shot looks like cotton candy, which seems like a pastel complement to the bright colors of the intermodal containers. Then once the sun went down, some lights went over the bridge and then I went to bed. But the next morning I got up at 4 a.m. before the sun. I'll keep the reason secret for now, but anyone who has seen my channel banner can probably tell what's happening. What's happening is this intermodal came by during a wonderful sunrise, and then this quote-unquote intermodal met it up on the bridge. I say quote-unquote because this train had 6 one-stack tall containers. Why? This seems like such a waste. What is so important in those containers that you need an entire train dedicated to them? At some point, I missed this manifest pulling out of Enola Yard that stopped before getting onto the Pittsburgh Line. After much anticipation, the big moment came. The train we'd been waiting on had arrived. For those who don't know, we knew that serving as a mid-DPU on this train was UP 1988, the Katy Heritage Unit. Can we fast forward this? Thank you. Seeing this engine was absolutely wild and completely unlikely. We are in the heart of NS territory, a railroad that has 20 heritage units. And before I saw any of those, I saw a heritage unit from a railroad that operates mainly west of the Mississippi, but also UP has only 6 heritage units. So to see one of 6 this far from home when I was in a group of 20's home turf was wild. After this manifest came the other way, I checked back in on that train that was coming out of Enola Yard that stopped before getting onto the Pittsburgh Line, and it was actually moving. And I waited a little bit, and these DPUs came by, and the sun shined on them absolutely beautifully, illuminating them in a nice golden hue. I got bored of standing on the deck, so I went out on this pier and caught this last up with 2 NS and a traffic cone, then took a beautiful panoramic. Then I moved to behind some bushes, and I got this manifest going by with bees buzzing around these spring flowers. While we're watching this, I just want to do a little housekeeping and give you guys a little info. I'm splitting this vacation into 2 videos because of the sheer number of trains I saw. The next video will be the last 2 days. Also, I'm going to start uploading unedited versions of all the clips I put in my videos in case anyone wants to see the clips without me talking over them. I'll put a link to an unlisted video in every description for you guys to check out if you so desire. In those unedited videos are not only going to be the unedited clips from the video, but also I'm going to be packing them full with extra content consisting mainly of extra clips from train sightings that couldn't be stretched into their own videos. Also, I've gotten a few questions like where was this video taken or when was this video taken, and I realized that I never formally said this in a video, but at the bottom of every video I link a spreadsheet that includes every train I've ever seen, along with a litany of information about them, including the location, date, engine model, railroad, direction, and commodity. It's always a work in progress and I update it regularly. Then this manifest that came off the Buffalo line crawled over the bridge and down into Enola. Then I went for a little walk towards the bridge and I saw this light engine move that came from the Harrisburg fuel pad, went over the bridge and down into Enola. As it went around the curve, the wheels absolutely shrieked. It was really hard to listen to. The light engine move went over a train that was hiding under the bridge to go into Enola. Then this manifest came out of Enola and went up the Buffalo line. The trains traveling on the Buffalo line actually have to blow for a crossing, so every time a train went in or out of the Buffalo line, we got to hear horns, which is one of the only times this vacation where we did hear horns unless the engineer blew for us. After this high priority intermodal, a trash train came by with a really nice engineer before we left for Hershey Park. On the drive to Hershey Park, we crossed Enola Yard, and if you look carefully at this photo, you might see the heritage unit. Enhanced photo. There it is. This blob is NS 911, the Honoring Our First Responders unit. After another train at golden hour, I decided to take a walk down to the Train Watchers Bridge at the end of the street. I really only saw some rail cars, but I would be back at this bridge, and I would catch something cool. That wraps it up for part 1 of this adventure. Part 2 will be coming out quite soon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I left the stove on. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.